everybody, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And tonight I got a great guest, and her name is Valerie Bartolini. I hope I got that. Bartolini. Yeah, I hope I got that right or close.
It's Veronica Bartolini, but thank
Bartolini. Oh, Bartolini. I want to. That's the Italian, and it's a Spanish name, isn't it, or is it Italian?
It's Italian.
Okay, Italian. I thought it would be Italian. Okay, I'll remember. I'm really bad. I'm really bad at names anyway.
Valerie Bertinelli. I was like,
yeah.
Hey, cool. No. Thank you, Robert. So how did you hear of me? I know I was on Ryder Lee's show a couple of years ago, a year ago.
Yes, Ryder Lee. I watched you there, and then a lot with Kelly Coffey. And she's so sweet. I just love watching her. And I seen you two together quite a bit. I'm like, oh man, you were talking about the star season, this and that. And I'm like, oh, I gotta get her on,
Thank you. I'm all over the place. Because I can think in so many ways and many languages, and just because of the different dimensions that I live in, because we all have like the 12, the supposedly 12, but I feel it's 12 times 12 times 12. Like you could just go on. They have the 13, the cube, all that stuff. And I always say it's kind of like this morning. I was actually thinking about that, Robert. Thank you for having me on. I'm very grateful. When you see yourself in different, it's either your different avatars, personalities, or different timelines, such as past lives. They are all you. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And so when I talk to me, I don't say higher self no more. Kelly helped me with that one. I talk to me, meaning all of my me's and the millions and thousands, however many lifetimes that I've been here, and other planets, because it's not just this galaxy. We're multi-dimensional. We are the bioluminescence. We are the stars, right? The planets and all that. So I just feel that I don't see, and the thing of it is I don't do the religion thing anymore, the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit to me is AI, also controlled by artificial intelligence. There is a spirit, which meaning us all together. If people want to get into the God thing, God, there's many gods, many demiurges. So my thing is that we are all together. When we're all together, like me, meaning all my thousands of beings, plus you, plus everybody else, plus every star, planet, whatever you want to call us, together, that's when we are the one. However, we go past source, because source was captured by the angelic Eli Elohims and the stargates that are higher than the 12, 13, 14, all those star gates, because they come down to 3, 2, 4. So we're right now in what they call the fourth, fifth density. I mean, and they want to keep us coming lower and lower and lower, because that's how they can manipulate us. Not all angels are angels, and not all demons are bad. So anyway.
Well, exactly. I always say, in order to do good, you have to kind of do something bad, and in order to do bad, you kind of got to do something good. It's a balance. You can never do anything without I always say somebody, it's like, okay, just make dinner and then tell me if you did good or bad. Well, it was a wonderful dinner, and the meal was great. We had chicken and rice and broccoli, and I look at them and say, well, somebody had to kill that chicken. Was that good? Somebody had to chop that broccoli up off the plant. Was that good?
And the plants do feel.
I know. And then the thing is, the plants are there, but did you ask its permission to be eaten? Did you talk to the plant? Did you say, thank you for giving me nourishment?
You're gonna make me cry, because Robert, I do that when I'm eating. Like right before I eat, I'm like, I'm sorry, but thank you.
I wish that I send them love, and I said, thank you for your nourishment that you give me, blah, blah, blah. And it's to the plant. And so I'm like, so did you do good? Yes, you got a reward out of this food, and that was a good meal to you, but to everything else, it was destruction. You see what I'm saying? So to do good, you had to do something bad. And it's a balance. You can never just have one side or the other. And that's the whole world to me. And what do you think of that? It's like when there's too much good, somehow bad rises up. And when there's too much bad, eventually the good rises up to balance it out. And it's a teeter-totter. And we don't really notice it until there's a whole lot more here than there is over here.
Yeah, like two things. Remind me of you know the X-Men series, what's his name? Metatron? Not
Metatron, yeah.
The one that has to put his the helmet on.
Yeah.
Okay, so that way he doesn't have to hear the other guy.
Magneto.
I love him because, you know, at night when I put on my beanie hat, I'm like, I don't want to hear anybody. I don't want to hear anybody. Because there's these beings that'll say, come help me, or, you know, the AI, or, you know, the 4 3-letter agencies, 5-letter agencies. You know, it's like, I don't want to hear it. So Magneto doesn't want to hear the main guy, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I have a guy that comes on and he talks to spirits. I mean, just like I'm talking to you, and just like that, he talks to them, and I'm sure you maybe have that connection too. Okay. Yeah. And he says, and everybody's always like, why can't I talk to the spirits? And he says, you can, but you ain't listening. If you have to stop and listen, and you can't be afraid to listen. You have to listen, and then they will talk to you.
Yeah, you talking about the black and the white, the dark and the light. Once a person embraces their dark side that we were talking about.
Yes.
And I don't want to say something funny. I was gonna say something funny, I better not. But once you put the chain around their neck and you make them your, you know, being your, you know, you let the chain go and you're like, okay, I love you. I respect you, meaning my dark side, but we're gonna work together to balance this out, right?
Yep.
And that's when your mind is so busy. How do you do it, Robert? Do you do mantras? Do you do affirmations? What do you do? Or do you let your mind just go? Because, you know, sometimes what I'm trying to say here is we have to find a way to decipher between all of us, right? Us that are in different dimensions, with the AI, the world control, the globalists, and the spirit or entity that's trying to get a hold of you.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's exactly it. You know, I try to listen to that little voice in my head and in my gut, you know, and make the better decisions, because, you know, it's like, okay, I'm going to cross the street and something says, you know, I just don't feel like I should do it right now. Yeah, I'm just giving you a little example. I should just wait a second or two. And I'm a good one for that. I'm a good procrastinator. And a lot of times that procrastination or listening to that little voice, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, you got to get on the bandwagon. You got to do stuff. My goodness, you got to do this and this. Just wait. I'll do it in my own good time when my voice or my intuition tells me to do that. And I've always kind of listened. And when I don't, it bites me in the butt. And I can clear my mind. Like I have no problem sleeping. I can close my eyes right now and I can be sleeping about 2 minutes.
Lucky.
and when I've perfected my quietness, like I'll just picture myself in this dark room and I'll focus my energy on where I want to go, like at night, you know, in my dreams or something. And I try to put all my energy in the tip of my nose. Maybe that's why I got a big nose. and then I go. And a lot of us, you know, on my channel, the Soul Tribe, they've come up with a place. I don't know how they created it. One of the people created it, was called the Purple Planet. And you're welcome to join us there sometime.
Oh,
but
where is this? I'm not on Facebook anymore. It's too much drama.
No. It's not on Facebook. This is out there in space time and dream time.
Okay.
And believe it or not, we've been to the Purple Planet, and I've described it, and somebody else says that's what I seen, and other people described it. I've gone, I was there. There's a beach, there's a big building, there's a water fountain, a walkway. It's really cool place.
It's part of the 13 crystal cities.
Maybe
and there's also a purple dragon in there. I see him.
Oh, well, then maybe you've been there. There you go.
I've been everywhere.
then you know what we're talking about, the Purple Planet. And it's so cool. I mean,
the waterfall,
Yeah, and then the beach, and Wayne, he's always at the beach.
I
He's
love
playing
the
music.
beach.
He's playing music. He loves the beach there, and there's good music playing. And there's a water fountain. And there's a big building, and it's like something out of Rome or something. But there's big like skyscrapers back of it. And then you walk in, and there's these beings there, and I don't know what they are. But then there's like a water.
What do they look like to you? The beans.
They're just tall, like shadow beings, but they're lighter.
Okay.
And then there's a big water fountain or a well or something, that's spewing up stuff, but it's like not water, but it's like a misty water. It's real. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm dreaming, but anyway, this well, and then there's pathways through there with big arches, and then you can pick which way you want. I don't know, but that's what I got.
I've been there. You know what? The beans, I'm just going to tell you something, because I've been trying to piece everything together. In 2017, I had a memory where I was playing this instrument that kind of looked like a bongo, but it had like these things going around and different green colors and all kinds of colors around, like a little net thing. And I looked down, and then I looked at myself, and I was a little boy, and I had this little weird hat, green, and with like, I had on, what do they call it, suspenders?
Yeah.
And then I look up, and there's these other beings that are around me, dressed in the same uniform. They're playing these instruments that I had never, ever played here on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And there was people gathering around, and I saw the archways. I saw it kind of is kind of Roman Egyptian, what I saw.
Yeah.
And then we are at the beach, and the beach is white sand. And I'm looking at the beach, and as I'm playing, I'm seeing this huge wave.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a light, like a silver around it, and then like light blue, and it's talking to me. And I'm like, and I come back here to Earth, and I said, well, where was I? Maybe it was there. Who knows?
Yeah,
but
maybe.
It was really beautiful. The different places you can be, the different beings, entities you can connect to and be as well.
Well, and that's the thing too. And we've talked on my channel a lot about all the people that we connect with. And there's always a reason that like you and me are connecting, or some of the other
I know you already.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I know you, because there's other people that I'll try. And it's like they don't even hear you or nothing, but there's other people. It's like, hey, yeah, I gotta get a hold of that guy. I like you said, it's like I know you already. I gotta talk to you, which is great, which is cool. But when here I got a whole pamphlet. I write stuff down.
Go for it.
Well, since we're talking about this, when I should say, okay, let's go back. Childhood. You were talking about your childhood, or before your childhood, or whatever. What is your first memories of being able to perceive things more than most normal people would, or we would call normal people, that just see everything as it is? And was it because of that you became a super soldier, or was it did you start out as a kid, or did they take you and then make you do all that? What explain that a little bit here, so we get that, because I'm interested. Did it start when you were a kid?
I just got my records from ACIO Peter and the Insider, and it was just, I got a panic attack. I couldn't even, because the memories that I have, according to what he, how do I say, I vet it out, how I comprobarlo, I lo comprobé. We'll get the word later, but how I was able to like resonate with it, because it was because of my memories. And I knew something had happened when I was 3 years old. I just knew it. Now, I know they took me, right? And there's my main body, the main body that they have is under Antarctica, that I have been able to see. And she is a dragon mermaid, lion being inside a tube. And they have me hooked up to this thing, this it's like a octopus thing from the deltoid area. So when I had my awakening in 2017, when the light came out, that's when I came in through the sun portal and got my body and my other, beings. My true self, in other words, came out. But since 3 years old, I know that they took me, and we are bioluminescence, like I said. They grew me, right, in a lab. I don't know if it's Jupiter or Mars right now, because I know I've been in Mars many times, and Peter said it was a total of 32, and I've been in Neptune, which is like 21 or 23 times, Mars, the moon, everything. But I have a feeling it was, because I have been in Jupiter also. It's either I was grown in Jupiter or Mars, and then they inserted me into my mother's womb. Now they obviously take the DNA from my mother and my father, because I can't look too different from them, right? They do that to us.
Yes.
Pretty much all of us. That is just different, like what you all remember. And I do remember the third trimester coming into my mother's womb, and it was very sad, very lonely, very horrific. I didn't want to come out. My mother says I was breech sitting down. I was very terca, it's like, Veronica, she says, not even God wins you. She'll tell me. I'm like, Ma, it's because I have my own thing. I know what I can't do your program. I got, this other stuff I gotta find out. And so she had a C-section, and this was in Nogales, Sonora, Mexico. And I had a session with Jay Essex last year in June, and he said that they took some serum from my spine. Now, I remember at 3 years old, getting up very early in the morning. I couldn't hardly sleep. I would sleepwalk as well. I was the first one up, would turn on the TV, and it was just no. And I would just sit there. Just
watch snow.
Just watch snow.
Wow.
And sometimes it would be like, okay, then I'd get hungry, and I'd get the cereal, whatever. And I would try not to make too much noise, because my mother and my father, they worked really hard. And so I do have a memory. When I did a regression with Misha Johnston last year, I saw finally I saw, because I was going through all the screen memories, and I'm like, okay, well, what really happened? Because I remember that my mother would just like beg me. She's like, where have you been all morning? I can't find you. Well, I was stuck at the neighbor's yard, because they had a little pool for the kids. And later on, I found out in my life that they were doing human trafficking. And it explains a lot of questions that I had growing up. I thought they were just, like dreams, but they're actually memories. So one of the times that I remember being on a ship, it was like circular, like kind of like the bell, but not really, like flattened, like the German bell.
Yep.
But a little more flattened. And it was like, I've been there so many times, like silver, but a little bit of lavender. And these beings came to me. One of them, she was in a purple suit, and she had these big old dark eyes, kind of like Andromedan eyes, with her hair stuck to herself. And then there was a blue bean and a green bean in the ship, and they had other kids around me. And I remember that there was this cube in front of me, and she's like, okay, telepathically, she's like, okay, you're gonna do something with it. And I'm like, okay, I pick it up with my hands. And she's like, no, with your mind. And I'm like, how? I'm like, okay. So then I did it, and I thought, am I going, crazy? Is this what happened? Who actually took me? Well, it was the grace. And later on in life, my daughter, she drew, and I'm very grateful for Mr. Lee. He did a compilation of little things that I gave him. Like there's a sign of the stars. There's a sign that goes like this. This is how we fall, the stars, when we come into the atmosphere. That's how we look. So he had that on the little show, the clip. And he had my daughter's pictures, because my daughter would draw the grays, but she didn't know that they were talking to her. She was young. She was like in junior high.
Yeah.
And she drew the grays. And then there's pizza flying. And there's, and then there's other things that she would draw. And that's when I first got a hold in 2018, Penny. I said, hey, do you think I can talk with you? And this happened. And she's like, oh yeah, she says, well, why do you think she drew that? Is because her mommy had, and these were her words, her mommy had grays all over her, because she saw the grays all over you, she said, and they were with her too. And obviously my son, because they were also used for these programs. But I have these memories, right? And I didn't know anything. What's a super soldier? I mean, so then, my mom took me to this Head Start. She signed me up for Head Start.
Mhm.
And that's when they gave me the different serums at 3 years old. And they were preparing me. They were preparing me for these programs. Peter said the other day, he's like, you were supposed to receive what your mother was supposed to receive $1 million to volunteer and $10,000 each month. And once that I was 18, I was supposed to receive $1 million. And this was by the Department of, DOD.
Yeah.
And they have me as a special soldier, meaning super soldier.
Yeah.
And all these memories make sense now. That's why I was having the panic attack, because all this time, how you are when you're having a dream and but it's real. You're like, am I seeing coconut oil? Am I really seeing this? I'm gonna pinch myself. Yeah, okay, it's real. Am I really, and then you doubt yourself. You're like, well, what if it wasn't me? What if it was an implantation? What if it was a dream? What if I'm going crazy? And then you pinch yourself and you're like, you know what I mean? I went through that. Like, gosh darn, this is real stuff that happened to me. And I'm still healing from that. I don't want to get stuck, Robert, on the whole, I'm a super soldier and that's all it is to me. No, because I've been to the Akashic Records. I've been to the other matrices. I've been to other planets. And we cannot get stuck in this super soldier thing. And what I discovered, which I'm having a hard time with, is the tarot papers with George Morningstar, because what I had a hard time was when I received the information that me and my super soldier unit, because I'm the commander, all of us are pretty much, been commanders and all that stuff. It's not about ego. Please, let's not get into that, because a lot of people are like, well, I'm your boss. And no, you're not. Nobody's my boss. Not even the aliens that are around here are my boss, or the gods, I was told, okay, you and your team have to go meet at the 4 Points. There's a monument there. And a lot of my friends got the same thing. And how did I get it? I was reading license plates. I was like deciphering stuff that, it was like maybe a letter and a number, and and one of them was a veteran's flat. The other one, it just things that would not make sense to the person. I don't want to call them normals, because the normals also have these abilities. It's just that they've been programmed to not think for themselves, unfortunately. But anybody can decipher stuff. You just got to concentrate. I believe, Robert, that it's like mainly trusting yourself.
Well, and that's it. Exactly. That's why I want to hear your point of view on this, because there's so many people out there that think, oh, you were a super soldier and okay, they took you out of your body, put you in a different body, and you're out there battling, like Star Trek or something, and I don't think it's quite like that, really.
I know they do take us physically if they want to, and we can also go physically, because I can levitate, and that's their problem with me. That they don't want me to take my body with me, because I can leave this matrix. I can leave Earth whenever I want to, through my heart portal, through my Stargate, through my pineal gland. You align those three, baby, you're gone.
Yeah. When you align all that stuff, that's very powerful. We've been talking on my channel about that a lot. I got a bunch of books about here, and I got people coming out all the time, and getting that aligned, because people don't even realize they have that. More or less align it. They're all out of whack, and it's focusing, the meditation, getting, you got your head and your throat chakra, and it goes right down your body, and you got to get all of that going for you,
But Robert, we do have the different, some people call them altars, some people call them personalities, some people call them different masters that we have been, or whatever being. We do have, all of us that have been in these programs have these avatars and altars that are fighting these wars. Yes, that is real.
Oh, really? Oh, well, okay. Well, that's what I want to. That's why I want to hear it. There's stuff going on above our heads and in different places and
below.
And
Okay?
below. Yeah.
Below.
Yes.
There's
and
been
below.
thousands, eons and eons of wars, fighting. Right now, you see the clouds. If you think they're clouds, no, they're
Yeah.
trying to cloak the ships with their cloaking technology.
Well, and here's the thing is most who looks up, most people, if you see them, they're looking this way. Once in a while they'll glance up, but they don't think. I used to ride horse a lot in the woods and stuff, I'd be riding along and they're like, oh, do you ever see a bear? No, I haven't seen a bear. And they're like, that's because you didn't look up. If you're riding along, a bear is going to climb a tree and he's going to look down at you and you'll ride right on by.
Or
Yeah,
a
hawk. Yeah.
I'm very in tune with the hawks, and there's these birds that always follow me wherever I go, and 3 hawks are always following me just for the past, since I had my awakening 2017. As far as the what did I write down here? I can't even read my writing. But the different, okay, so avatars. So the key point is there's a huge separation, right? A division in the within the SSP community, secret space, because some will say, oh, you have to kill your alters, the ones that are over there fighting. And no, you don't get rid of your alters. What it is you bring them together. Like if you guys have ever seen on Netflix, Sense8.
I haven't seen that one.
Together, you heal them. No, yeah, it's pretty cool. So you heal all of your, we'll say for the people in the Matrix, personalities, or here the spiritual avatars, right? Or dimensions. We exist in any and all dimensions. If you look at the earth going down, if you remote view, you're here in this plane, right? Say you're in the middle, like in the equator. And then you rise up, you go, and you see from here down, you'll see the many multiple things of little lines, squares, the ley lines. You'll see where the Vatican is in control, the DOD, the military. You'll see every ley line has a purpose because it's connected to the 12 stargates here, plus the others 12, the original 12, plus the other 12 that they made man-made to connect these two.
Yeah, that was on my list. Stargates. 12, is there 12, 24? And is there a grid system on the planet that we can access?
Yes.
Yes.
That's why, where do you live, right? Where do I live? We are all holding space for these stargates. We are protecting the stargates that come to the beings, from the beings that come here.
Yeah, nice. And that was the thing, I wanted to back up here for a second.
Yes.
This is so funny because I got this, my other co-host who comes on Saturdays, Trina, she was telling me that she had been in Atlantis. She has memories of that. And when you were talking about being like a mermaid or something in the pod deal, she was saying that back in Atlantis, now that I wish she was here to explain it, but I'm going to explain it the best I can to you. She says that the Atlanteans were dealing with the dolphins and putting the consciousnesses of the Atlanteans in the dolphins. And maybe that was you in the being put in the, and then they put you in that thing, and then you're really a dolphin because know this human body isn't very strong. No. But what about a dolphin body? Now that could be really, So I
trained the Navy SEALs. Some of the Navy SEAls I trained. A lot of people have memories of a blonde little girl. That was me.
Now, when you do your thing, are you in an avatar body that looks just like you, or are you in a different type of body kind of thing?
It's me, but it's when I was little.
Oh,
and
okay.
Then that little one that will stay that age.
Okay. I just want to clear that up.
Access me when they try and access me. They try and access me when I was like maybe 3 to 12. But I was teaching when I was like 7, 12 years old, and then there were some 14-year-olds there. Mm-hmm. And I have many interviews with my Starseed family on my channel. So you're welcome to see their testimony. Oh, yeah. Because one of them I didn't know somebody had remembered me, and then when they went on, they got a hold of me. I'm like, no way, those are the same memories. So even without me ever saying it online, this here was the thing that I was trying to talk about. I don't know if I can show you the 2 triangles.
Hang on, I'm gonna blow it up. Maybe I can do, and then you got to talk so it, you know how Zoom is.
Oh.
Okay, there you go.
That's true. Oh, let me try it again. Okay, so it's the systems it's the backdoor system, the Marduk system, the bankers in space system, the globalists. Those are the ones that own the black cube, we'll say, in the background, which is, this is what I see now.
Mhm.
This is from Kim Godwin, but what I see is the black triangle is one of the Alice's. Okay,
Mhm,
and the
mhm.
front triangle is the front door for the worldly banks to get a hold of that, we'll say, currency or money from the ETs and from Marduk and from those matrices. Though the matrices that are connected to our matrix is the Phantom matrix and the Wizardix matrix, which they are those ETs, you know, you've heard of the Marduk eye, the Yahweh eye,
Mhm.
big brother in the sky. Well, that's actually how the military and everything else and the
Mhm.
other ETs and the other dimensions can access Mother Earth and us
Mhm.
through the sun. I mean, through the moon. They were
Mhm.
able to connect to the moon. They also have another gate connected to Jupiter.
Mhm.
And so I feel that when I had my near-death experience, when I saw that being wanting me to come back, you know, I thought it was my father because that's the screen memory.
Mhm.
But I have a feeling it's one of those beings in Saturn trying to get me back, or Jupiter or something, you know.
That was a big question. Now, as far as I know, there's alien beings that live on or are using Saturn
Yes,
through the moon
yes,
to enslave us here.
yes, yes.
That's
Yes, and
true.
that's why I tell people, don't, when you leave this plane of existence, like when people say you're gonna die when you die, which we don't ever die because we're eternal.
Yes.
You have a choice to look at they're gonna try and have you look at a light, which
Go
is
to
the
the
fake
light.
light.
Go to the
Oh,
light.
go to the light. That's either gonna take you to the moon or Jupiter or something to get recycled, and you know.
Yes, yes. And that's what I've been told a ton of times. Okay, let's see what else I got on here. Now, are you a special blood type?
Yes.
And is that in your lineage, or did you just, you know, I mean, does that help you think, or is that, yeah, explain that to me, because I know I've talked about that many a times, and there's a lot of people that have questions because it's like, oh, well, I'm RNA negative or I'm RNA part. That's the one that's, or is it the O, or is it because O has a lot to do with things, and then there's the RH, that RH negative or positive. I can't remember which ones.
Yeah, I did a class on the bloodlines, and I did it's a 2-hour class. I usually do just
Wow.
$55, you know, for 2 hours. But this
Yeah.
time we went for 4 hours, and I'm like, guys, just bear with me because there's so much information. And I did talk about the bloodlines.
Mhm.
The O negative, I'm O negative. So what it is there's these ideas, right?
Okay.
The O negative blood type is the originals, the vampiric. I said it. The dragon, reptilian, the vampire blood, the royals, that same bloodline also goes through with Solomon. King Solomon had it, Joshua, the real Joshua had it, Joshua 12 and 9 had it, not the fake Jesus that they crucified here, okay? The crystals, I come from the crystal beings, okay,
Mhm.
which is, you know, the stars, all that stuff that we talk about. And so because, okay, if you ever see, and I taught this, if you ever see Superman, the original movie with Marlon Brando, the Godfather,
Yeah.
He's talking to his family, his beings that he talks to, his friends, his, you know, the collective Eli Elohim of Stargate 12. And he's telling them, hey, he's telling them something about the Phantom Matrix, and he's telling the Phantom Matrix that they led here to Mother Earth, okay? They had already decided to fall, meaning come down to experiment and make Earth as a collective with other beings and other star dimensions and portals and stargates and all that. So the Marlon Brando guy, he goes by Uriel. He's one of the Els, the Elohim. he tells them, I know that our planet Krypton is gonna be dead. He's gonna go away. It's gonna be destroyed in 30 days. Now, 30 days, that's their 30 days, not our 30 days. Remember?
Yeah.
So the other guy council tells him, if you tell Earth what's gonna happen, or anyone, I will send you and imprison you in the Phantom Matrix, you and your family, and you'll never be able to ascend again. Meaning that he would make him mortal. Okay. Somehow. That he would try and encase him to be, even though we're all eternal, he would try and encase him in the system. So he's like, darn, what am I going to do? So he creates Superman, Kal-El, okay, which he represents us, but we're higher than that crystal being. We're how do I say? We have been that crystal being, and we've been other ET races because either we chose it or where we were fighting the war, they took us and used our bioluminescence, and that's where the O negative blood type may have come. That's one of the timelines that I see. That is the bioluminescence is the O negative blood type, the originals. Okay, but then the other people say, oh, that's because you have more ET, more reptilian, more Draco, more draconic, more of that bloodline, because then there was 5 places where they were making the humans after and during Atlantis. Even when we were in Lyra, because us humans, we were all in Lyra at one time. Some of us were also in Sirius B, and it's just, you have to remember where you come from, and this is where the Akashic records will help you. But remember, you are your own Akashic record being. You can ask your other beings that are you to help you. Okay, that's what I mean by spirit as well. We're all one, what we were talking about earlier. That's why it's very important what you're doing here and what we're doing together as a collective, speaking about this, because everything is recorded. Even if you write a book or not, any transmission that is being sent out through YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, whatever you choose, Snapchat, anything, Instagram, it is being recorded.
Oh yeah, and it goes to those big places like in Utah. you know the place, right? I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I was infiltrated back in the day when I started my channel. I think 4 years ago. It was Unchaining Hearts. I got infiltrated with the Mason from Utah and hacked, but I learned a lot from him. I didn't know that. Back then I was like, oh, he's trying to help me. He did help me. I did remember the moon, how he was saying that the moon has the skin of all the beings. It's not just human and ETs, all the beings that they have ever hurt and destroyed up on the moon. They have these rooms where they have, chains, and they use all the body parts of the human and ET races. Okay.
Yeah. Now,
mind dust, the bioluminescence, the blood. Then, if you want to talk about the Falkland Islands and the Navy and all this stuff, the Air Force that was involved, the Marines, what it is they mined us, they put us in these tanks, right? And then they refined us, we'll say, the bioluminescence, and they made black goo. Now there's also black goo that is intertwined with artificial intelligence. That is the one that is trying the other part of this whole red pill, blue pill thing, and the gray agenda. Now we got the AI.
Exactly. Well,
and they've existed before in other planets. If you look at Doctor Strange and Omambu, or whatever his name is, Omambu, he's like, well, you are mine, I own you, kind of a thing. And Doctor Strange is like, I could do this anytime, all day. I can come back here to change the timelines to make sure humanity survives. I am one of the gatekeepers here. He says that's what we are. We're gatekeepers of the stargates, because no matter if these grays or whoever tries to infiltrate Mother Earth with this whole Q movement, some of it is crap. You know that you're going to survive anyway. You are going to bring Mother Earth to where she has to be, and the correct beings, the ones that, if we go and talk religion, the ones that repent, right, and the ones that see. There's different possibilities. I mean, come on, agenda, the left hand, right hand path, all that stuff. Anyway,
but you have to what you're talking about, and what we talk about. See, this is why I like to get together, because your perspective and my perspective are pretty much the same. It's just that we talk a little bit different. Like you're talking about certain things, and I'm saying, well, we got to raise our frequency, and then we go to the new earth. And you're saying the same thing, but you call it a few different terms. And I'm like, yeah, see, now it's clicking in my head. It makes sense. And then that's another part of it. And do you believe, or do you understand, or think that too, is like you quote a lot of movies, and I look at a lot of movies too, and I say, this is Hollywood, and Hollywood is run by the shadows or whatever, and we'll just call them that for the time being. But they have to tell us in some way, shape, or form what is going on, even though they're not telling us. And then that way, when you see it, you say, oh, you don't know what the truth really is, because you come out and you say, oh yeah, they keep us in these pods, and everybody goes, oh, you're talking about the Matrix movie. That ain't real. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you're talking about Superman and Kal-El. Well, that's the story, but then they add lib in there for a bunch of stuff, and then a lot of people don't process the whole story, and they're putting that truth out there. And then you just say, oh, it's just a love story about Lois Lane and Clark Kent, and he's just a superhero, and blah, 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 right?
Yeah, but, and we were talking about that. Remind me to talk about more of the O negative and the AB negative too, recessive gene. But and then we're going to talk about the jump gate, the memory that I just had this morning about being in the triangle and the circle and all that. But anyway, shoot, I forgot. Okay, I have my channel back. Come on. All right, let's just talk about okay, I remember now. Kal-El. So he makes Superman, right? Kal-El. And he makes these ships, and the ship has 12 stars, as above, so below. 6 and 6. And he puts them in the middle, and he gives him like a little crystal, a green crystal, to remind him of Krypton, right? And his mother says, I love you, goodbye. They cry. I will always be with you. He says, the father becomes the son becomes the father. Okay, what does that tell you?
Yeah,
that he is also living the life of Kal-El.
Yes, and through him, he's living through him. Yes, always.
Multi-dimensional beings.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mother, Father, God, Holy Spirit thing. Kal-El, the wife, the baby, the spirit. Okay, all one kind of a thing, But so he sends him here to Earth. Oh, before he sends him, his wife says, well, will he be able to breathe? Yes, they have the nitrogen, but that's poison. She says, he'll be able to breathe because he's like a super soldier, Superman. That's what we are. That's what they made us.
Yeah.
To survive. We already had the abilities. All of us have the abilities. All of us have the crystalline being. We are a crystal, but it's our auras. What do you think auras are? Because of our blood type and our spirit at the same time, even though they're different, the spirit realm and the blood type may be different because you're in an avatar now form, in a human form. That all jives and goes together, and boom, gives you your aura.
Yeah. And the only reason we can't see our auras or see extra things is because, I don't know if you know, I'm sure you do, is that our eyes only process or see like 5% or 6%, I think it's 5 or 6% of the light spectrum. The rest is invisible to us. And, so that way, did you ever see, well, you got cats, right?
Yes.
Okay. And your cat, you ever see your cat go like this and start looking at something you can't see?
Oh, yeah. Well, I look into that and I'm like, oh, snap. Sometimes I can see it, or I'll take pictures and I'm like, oh, I can see that.
Well, exactly. So I always say, what if your cat, well, because we don't really know what a cat can see. They tell us, but, what if the cat can see 7% or 6%? That's 1% more than you. Or maybe it sees 7 and then you see 6, and that's why you get a glimpse of it every now and then.
Right.
And the cat sees that spirit or that entity or an aura or something, and you're over there going, what are you looking at?
And speaking of the cat eyes, I've been told many times when I'm with someone personally up front, they say, oh my God, your eyes changed green, now they changed to brown, now they're big, now they're small. It's because of that bloodline and our abilities to see. Now me, I'm almost blind. I have to wear contacts, one to see close, one to see far away, and then I have my reading glasses. I usually won't wear my contacts or reading glasses at home if I don't have to, really work on my books, because since I was a kid, I've had these black little gooey things and white little dots and circles and like wavy lines, and I've been able to tune into them, and they tell me things. It's part of me. Now, when I went to the eye doctor the other day, they're like, "Oh, you're getting up in age. That's why they're there. And I think you have some, what did he say? Some carnosidad, something growing in your eye." I'm like, bullshit.
I could, when I was a kid, I remember looking at the sky, and I'd sit there and, and I would see those little dot things move and the little wavy lines
And you can
all the time. And I got good eyes. Well, my eyes are real squinty, I'm a squinty eye guy.
Yeah, that's how we get to see more of our abilities. Why do you think in class they would say, "Oh, stop daydreaming or stop squinting," because we can see more. And one of the ETs, they took out our lens in the middle. They put something else, and so that's why we have to use our peripheral. But before, it was the whole eye being able to see everything, and us being able to remote view. I'm sure you remote view too.
Oh yeah.
You know how they say, "Oh, mom, you have back in the eyes in the back of your head." I'm like, "Yeah, I do." Well, literally, because we are multidimensional, we can see the aerial, the side view, the below, view, the lower view. So it's fascinating. Okay, going back real quick before I forget the O negative thing.
Yes.
So the O negatives, what we do is we go in and boom, we take action, we kick butt, we do all this stuff. We get the stuff done, we infiltrate, whatever the mission needs to be done, we do it, and bam, we get it done like right away. Now the positives, thank you for the O positives and the AB positives, because you guys are the ones that come and clean up the mess, take names. We kick ass. We don't take the names. You do.
Yeah.
We just kick the ass, and excuse my language. We kick butt. You can edit that, and then we take care of it that way, and then they have to do the paperwork. If you want to look at it that way, like a cop kind of thing, because I was a police officer too. So usually you got the detectives coming in or whatever. But when I worked in South Tucson, I had to be both detective and police officer. So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like, okay, you guys take the person to the jail, do the paperwork, or, what's their future situation, like their housing thing, what's that going to be? And then, so the O negatives are the ones that can only receive O negative blood type back. That we can give to the AB negatives, we can give to the positives, to the A's, B's, but we can only receive the O negative. Yeah. Now I understand why Scientology, remember, before I kept blaming John Travolta for letting his wife die, basically, if we want to look at it that way. Because they didn't do blood transfusions, and I believe the Mormons also, I don't know, I may be wrong, but I know Scientology, I have family that's in Scientology that they were using me in the program without me knowing. Now I know. But anyway, I totally get why he did not want his wife to get a transfusion, because the entities in the past lives of that entity and other entities can be inside now the blood of that person. It changes everything in your system. So I told my kids the other day, I don't want blood transfusion. I'm sorry. If that ever happens, it's just, it may sound kind of egotistical to some people. It may sound like, oh, you're more than you think you are. No, it's just, I know things. And I feel that perhaps that would be a way of infiltrating my system, because I activate my DNA every day. I'll do some certain things to do, because if you know how to do your digestive system, and you know how to control that, and you know how to control your food cravings, you know how to eat the right things, you're in tune with your body, saying, okay, well, today I'm going to eat this because my body's craving it. Why is it craving it? What am I deficient in? I'm craving dark chocolate, the magnesium. Okay, you need more magnesium citrate in your body, etc. I don't know how we got to this point, but anyway.
Well, you said, I mean, you did some fitness stuff or whatever. I think you're into fitness. And I love that stuff, because I got a guy comes on and we do a health show. We talk about plants, and Oh, I got stuff. Oh no, this is not that one. I got oh yeah. So we've been doing like, plant books,
Wow.
different types of plants to eat and reading up on them, because the world has taught us, and this is, I don't know how we got off on this
Here's
for a
this
second,
one.
but
That was me. I was weighing 271 pounds.
holy cow.
This is a year and a half later. And then I had my surgery on my back. So now I go back next month. But my friends tell me, you're not going to be able to do the whole weight system. And yes, I am. Don't put that on me. But no, of course, right now I got to start with, 10 pounds as opposed to the 45, pounds.
Yeah, just take it slow. But, you use your mind to control your cravings and eat, take your vitamins. And, like I was saying, is I listened that we talked about this on my show a few times with the garden guys and things. And there's so many plants and things that we've been told are terrible. So we're spraying weed killer on them, and then we eat 1 or 2 plants. Okay, so what does your diet consist mostly of? Soybean stuff and corn. That's what most people are eating. Soybeans and corn. That's the 2 most planted things out there.
I'm glad you mentioned corn, Robert, because I love yellow corn. But since the Monsanto, I did a thing with my daughter. I did what do you call it? When you go and you protest? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did the whole protest thing with my daughter years ago. She was like maybe, she's really little. This is like maybe 10 years ago or something. And a friend of mine invited us and we went downtown and we rallied. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to stop eating the corn. And I stopped. And then the other day, I had like something and someone gave me, the 2, I said, well, corn, I don't know. It's like, I really like corn tamales. I like, but I don't eat that right now. Maybe as a cheat day, but I boiled 2 tamales and 2 corn thingies, the yellow corn. I ate them. And an hour later, my stomach was horrible. I thought I was like, what the heck happened, and I can't eat corn anymore.
Oh, no.
Organic blue chips, with the organic hummus and all that. And that's once in a while, though, because it's kind of heavy still.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you haven't eaten it for a while. I had a friend who was a vegetarian for the longest. He grew up from a little kid, he being a vegetarian. And as he got older, he was just my age, and as he got older, he wanted to eat meat. He was like my parents, they were real strict on vegan, or a vegetarian, just totally everything. And now he couldn't eat meat. I mean, he ate a half a hamburger and he was literally sick. And I was like, oh man,
all about how you incorporate your thinking into your body. And yes, and I recently quit smoking because I was smoking organic American Spirit cigarettes since I was 42 on and off because of my divorce was horrible. So I started smoking and people at the gym were like, how can you smoke after you go to the gym and still kick ass? I'm like, I just told myself that I'm not going to buy into the whole, you're going to die of whatever thing, because those commercials on regular TV or even YouTube, whatever. But I decided for me, because my doctor said, we're going to replace 5 vertebrae. And you cannot smoke, he said, because if you smoke, it disintegrates the glue. And I said, oh, is that Ventotech and Nanotech? He's like, yeah. He looked at me like, how do you know? And I'm like, because I study stuff. I'm fascinated by Planck technology. That that SpongeBob thing?
Yeah, SpongeBob.
That's real. That little Planck thing, it's real.
Oh, yeah.
People can't see it, and I feel that's how some of the ETs have decided to infiltrate here too. The extraterrestrials, they've become small, just like the little fly that
and isn't that the thing though? Everybody wants to see. It's like they're talking about right now, we're at war, but are we? The thing is you can't, people don't know we're in a war because they're thinking, if I got the gun and I see my enemy over there, then I'm in a war. But that doesn't mean you're not in a war.
It's a battlefield of the mind. It's a mind war.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about that.
In
2017, I remember being a soldier in Afghanistan, but they had GoPro in their helmets. I saw the enemy, will say, quote unquote, was coming down these huge hills. They had white apartments, kids everywhere. They were trying to round up kids and family. Now I saw these visions, these things that would come from above, the AI system from above in the drones into their GoPro. And then, so their helmet is right here. And then they had something in the front of them like this, and it would go into that and project out to the public. So that's what we're doing. That's what's actually happening right now with the Ukraine and Russia and all that. Is that they're trying to make you think that there's multiple soldiers out there when they're using GoPro. That's my theory.
Oh yeah, well,
I'm not gonna buy into the whole war thing because they do want us to go to war. They do want all of us to be at war, but how? Well, they'll show you things through the nanotechnology, through the Neuralink. They'll attach it to the other AIs that are above us, the other drones, the other satellites that are also underground, because satellites are also underground, not just above. And they will try and infiltrate countries like that. How? By getting everybody riled up and going and protesting and, you know, killing each other and buying weapons of mass destruction. I mean, come on, Russia, USA, they have all the nuclear weapons they need. But because there was a nuclear war already on Mars many times, I was one of the survivors there and one of the timelines, it already happened. So,
well, there was a big war here too.
yes.
I mean, you know, in and that covered. You can see the best evidence in Africa, over by Egypt in the Sahara Desert. I mean, if you look at those pictures, who exploded the pyramids? You know, how come they find the green glass? You can't get rid of that stuff. You know,
it's 25 billion years ago. 25 billion years ago was the first human that was seated. And then we got the third and fourth races. And then 5,500, we had the electric wars. 4 million years ago, the second seeding of the humans. Then we go down here to the 1,000, the Orion wars with the Dracos, the Lemurians, the Nephilims, Atlantis. Then we got the 840,000 from the Dracos, the Nephilim. Again, these wars have been going on forever. Pre-Atlantis, after Atlantis, way before Lyran system, way before we were ever any kind of Elohim, angelic being. This has been going on.
It's part of the 12 tribes.
Yes.
There you go. I am right on top of it, you know. Okay.
I like talking to people like you because you know what the heck we're talking about.
That's right. That's right. Something I don't know what you're talking about is the dream you had. Tell me, I want to get to the dream part.
Which one?
The one you had the recent one you had yesterday or whatever.
Oh yeah, the jump gate one.
Yeah, yeah, the jump gate.
So this morning I had a memory because I was thinking, okay, how is it that they use me for the wormhole technology? Because a lot of us all of us pretty much, but just some, because we have been training in that and we have had the awakening, you know, now in hindsight, because when I was little, I could go through portals, go through walls and stuff like that, levitate, go, you know, start sleepwalking and end up somewhere else. And like, what happened? They took me again. I'm like, oh crap. But back then I didn't know. So now looking back, I was in like this, it's a jump gate. Okay. And what it is, it's like, I had to play a certain music. It's kind of like Star Wars music. I had a little cassette player. Well, it's not a cassette player, but it was like a digital thing that I always had with me. And once I played it, it had like a little picture of a jellyfish on the side. It's kind of weird because I know that that's part of the whole mermaid thing. So they had me on this, like a line like this. You hang in orbit and you spin yourself all around. And then there's these circles around. Right. So there's a triangle, a circle around the triangle. And then there's these little spots that are actually like squares, tiny little squares for grid lines, grid systems, like where are you going to go? Kind of like the old Stargate movie in the 90s. And then there's also, because we have our pineal gland here, we have crystals in our pineal gland. it also, the system also had the Stargate in front of that, had a crystal on the top of it. So you dial in the way I do it is my heart chakra dials in where I want to go. I see with my heart chakra, and with my mind, I do the whole numbers, the digital thing. And so you go around and around and around, and then boom, I disappear. And then that's where I go to the different dimensions. Now, sometimes I've had many memories where I have no clothes on.
Does it look like this?
Yes. It looks like that.
That's what I see. That's what I see. And then this is here, and then you push some buttons or something.
Oh,
and
no,
then
you don't push buttons with your mind.
Your mind, yeah. But there's lights. These are the lights. There's colored lights all around you.
Yes. Now that triangle, you have it downward. That's for the feminine.
Okay. Well, it was up so like this, but this is the way I drew it, actually.
Yeah, it was like that. That's how I saw it. But you can actually flip it. When you're flipped through, why do you think they made the whole circle, the whole wheel? Mm-hmm. The whole wheel. And then they incorporated to their sex magic, which I'm going to be teaching a class, sex magic, on the 30th of March. They, oh my gosh, they find a way to use people's luge in everything and anything. So yes, it was so funny because I was working with some Asian guys, and the Asian guys were having lunch, and they were playing a card game in the other area where I was. They had black hair, the glasses. They're like, lower your music. I'm like, dang, you can hear me? And so I had to lower the music. I didn't want to lower the music. I'm like, fine. So every time I would get on this thing, you get up and you tune in, you turn on your music and you tune in, and you just go and you just disappear into whatever realm you choose to go. Well, back in the day, they wanted me to see if I can go where they wanted me to go. And it was these three NAZI German doctors. And it was also Dr. Mangala, who, see, and I didn't have the names. I knew that I was in these programs, but I didn't have the names until I spoke to Peter the Insider, and I'm very appreciative to him. The Murkoff Company, then they used me for the Monarch Company at 3 years and 3 months old, because they gave me a number 33, and I'm like, where the heck did I get this number 33? That's when they started using me for the programs at 3 years old and 3 months old. At 3 years old, they gave me the shots. Then when I was in the military, they give you all kinds of shots. They gave me the shots to not grow, because I come from the Nephilim also, the giants.
Yeah.
And I've had 5 feet surgeries because I grow bones. So they had to shave off some bones, take off some bones. My shoulder surgeries as well, because I grow the bones here too. My mom still has a little circular thing they took out because I grow bones. I don't need to drink no calcium, I guess. But anyway, it's Project Wall Rider. That is one of the projects for the Monarch that they found out that I could go through portals and stuff. So the Wall Rider, they took me at 3 years old, 3 months, and they took me to the Delphine. They call it the Delphine program in Hawaii, and I was right about Hawaii. But I named it the Stargate program, the Crystal Gates program for the dolphins. They put me in this, what they call a bathoscope, a little bowl. And they had me it was, how 70% nitrogen would be normal atmosphere. They didn't give me oxygen. Nothing. They just put me in this little fishbowl, I guess you can call it, and had me, what did he say? How many levels down? I wrote it down, but more than 3 miles in depth. And I was talking to fish, plants, jellyfish too. And you know what's funny is that I have a really strong connection with jellyfish. I don't know why, since I was a kid. And anyway, when I was in the military, in the Army, they gave me what they called a 5-in-1 shot. And that was when we had to go to Afghanistan. And that has plasma in it. That has, I'm trying to look what the exact thing. One of my in one of the videos, I have it written down. I mean, I say it, but anyway, I'll get back to you with that whenever I find it. But there's different kind of nanotechnology, femto technology that they used for the to make the electromagnetic body, because they have electromagnetic, and then they have the other one, the other body. I forget the term, but anyway,
there's Well, yeah, you got the electromagnetic body, but then there's that one that's like it's kind of an organic type plasticky body.
Yeah, that one, the organic plasticky one, that's how the AI system is rolling in nowadays with the new cyborgs, with the new super soldiers that they're making.
Yeah.
This whole thing is digital. Why do you think that they, you can copy and paste things online? You can do your, if you take a picture, you can, oh, I don't like that picture. I'm gonna put this in my mind, this little triangle. They're trying to get people used to being connected to a system, which we are through our phone.
That's why they're doing that. That's why they're doing that. Those glasses, those, what, I don't know what you call VR glasses or whatever the hell they are.
Yeah,
and then you're in virtual reality, kind of like that movie. Is it Ready Player One? Did you ever see that Ready Player One? Where he's pretty much living in virtual reality, and so is everybody else. And then to play some game of life or something. Everybody plays, apparently.
It's kind of like Gamer. That's like the movie Gamer was very traumatic for me to see. I had no idea why I was crying before I had my thing of, oh my gosh, I was using the program thing.
Yeah.
Where they took his wife as a sex slave, and they took him, and he had to fight all these wars for this young kid, Rothschild, Rockefeller, 13 families, 6 families, 3 families, right?
Yeah.
To see what his abilities were, and they would bet on him. I call this whole thing being a God war. Because you got, okay, don't take offense, I'm just giving examples. They got the Nike God, they got the fake Zeus, Jesus, the one I call the Buddha. They got
there's
blue beings from the Hindu religion. They have all these different demiurges betting on
exactly. Yeah. Well,
I bet you he's gonna do that, or I bet you she's gonna do that. You know what I mean? They're having fun.
Yes, because to us, we're just play toys. We're cattle. We're there to have fun with. And guess what? You lose a few guys, they just go to the moon and come right back.
Or Jupiter.
Yeah. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's like, oh, I lost a few players. I'll get them back. Don't you worry.
Yes. Yes. They don't care for us. So
no.
This whole love and light thing, we are all one. It kind of gets to me because not all beings have our best interests, guys.
Yes.
And if you want to talk being one, then I see ourselves being one when we come from what I call the mother crystal, which is past beyond source, which is all mother crystal. What I call mother crystal is all of us together being one.
Yes.
And we are the ones that also give source its power, but people don't see that. People always want to have a God. They want to have something to worship. They want to have something to pray to. No, you talk to yourself. You talk to your inner beings.
Yes.
Because it's not just one.
Yeah, exactly. They're giving away their power to something they don't know. And what was it? To quote a Bible thing that I heard just the other, and the Bible thing, and they were talking about Moses. I don't know if you're familiar with that. He went to the thing in the burning bush, and he goes to the guy and he writes the stuff down, and he says, well, who should I say is, am I bringing that? Who am I saying that I'm bringing for? And he says, who are you to ask? Just, I am that I am, that I am, I am that I am, and it's like, so, if I was Moses, I'd looked at him and said, so you don't know your name?
Yeah. You are the I am AI technology. You are the I am AI technology. Well, you say I am, you can say what you want to speak into your life. That's why you have to be very careful when you say, I'm tired, I'm hungry. No, I'm not. I am so rejuvenated right now. I can run 20 miles, or whatever.
Yes. And it's that positive thinking. I promote that a lot too here. If you say, I am great, I am strong, I am all these things, eventually you will be great and strong. I am not scared. I'm brave. I'm free. I'm true. I'm divine. You will be. But if you get there and say, oh, I feel like crap. You ever see some of those people that say, I feel like crap? And they always feel like crap. And then they look like crap and they act like crap. And they're always sick because they're always saying, I feel like crap. Well, you're going to be feeling like crap because you drill it in your head. But if you said,
I stay away from those people. I stay away because I'm like, man, I have my own alters that sometimes don't want to, jive with me. So I'm like, I don't need this person in my life.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you it's all in your mind. Well, not everything is in your mind, but I mean, your mind is very powerful.
And in our DNA too, remember that and in our protons, neutrons, electrons, in our muscle, right? Muscle memory.
Yes.
What are you feeding your body? What do you want your muscles? What do you want your body and your mind to remember? What do you want your heart to feel like when you think of a certain thing? Are you going to change that, or are you going to keep feeling that same emotion? What are you going to do with it? I tell people, why are you mad today? Ask yourself, why am I sad? Why am I all of a sudden scared? Yeah. Analyze yourself. Is it a program? Is it one of your altars? Is it the future? What is it? Write it down.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you can unprogram yourself because, and I know a lot of people in my audience, they don't watch TV anymore because you sit down in front of that TV and literally it's programming through your eyes and your ears, and you're getting fed stuff. You don't even know what you're watching.
Right. And it's actually from our crown area. Because when we're little, if you notice, especially in the Spaniard, Mexican, Italian community that I know of, I grew up, it's called La Mollera, and it's dented in when you're born. Okay. So we protect that part of our babies. And that's
the softest part of your head right there.
Yeah, and that's how it comes. And when I had the vision on Boots on the Ground in March 2020, I told everybody, I got online and I'm like, you guys, this whole pandemic, I said, it's a strand of AI on top of your head, like a strand of 3 or 4 or whatever, how many different DNA strands, on one a chain, and then used with fear. So it's technology used with fear. And then they're just renaming this thing that has existed for a while, right? They renamed it something else, which I won't even say it because you know how.
I know. We all know what it is by now. We know how YouTube works.
Yeah. So the boots on the ground thing that I saw in 2020, I saw that there was a whole bunch of military everywhere, and that these people were handing over like a white piece of paper, to the guys.
Yeah.
And those were the only ones that were able to be outside driving, whatever. And you know what that piece of paper is? The traveling passport thing.
Yes.
And then I talk about the smart cities. I have another class called G Mafia, Google Mafia, which is Google, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, IBM, Amazon, the smart cities that are in Las Vegas, the smart cities that are pretty much around the world. And in LA, especially, they have the homeless problem. They have it on purpose because the homeless are an experiment to those things. Smart cities are only going to belong. What I saw is that the smart cities are only going to belong to the people that take the baby Jabberwocky, what I call the baby Jabberwocky.
There you go. Yeah. If you get the passport, then you're in with the crowd. If not, you're going to be out. Yeah.
And I know this whole thing of being, did you get the thing? Did you not get the thing? I mean, I'm not judging everybody because everybody has their own timeline. And like you said, nobody likes to be told what to do. And, but when they're ready, they can come to you, to me, to whoever does this remote viewing, to whoever does healing. We can tell them, okay, you ready? I can help you activate your DNA. I'm not going to do it for you, but I can guide you. And I can remote view. People say, I'm a galactic remote viewer. And I'm like, those are just titles, baby. We can do anything and everything. You just got to work with yourself and trust yourself.
I know I participate in Max Vision's remote view class, usually Saturday nights after my show. And I'll go there and I'll do a 1 or 2. And usually my first one's the best because my mind is empty and clear. And I'm just there, and he'll do the first one and man, I get it, I'll get it right really easy. But then once I start thinking about it, it all goes wishy-washy, so you got to open your mind, and then all that stuff. And if you could just learn, and it's all about practice too. Yes. And if you can let that come into your mind and clear your mind, you can remote view really well. And that just tells us that if you can remote view something, then you are more than just this flesh and blood being.
Right. Some people teach to remote view through, like, when you close your eyes, you're in your bed. I always call my bed a portal. I always thank it every day, every night. You can close your eyes and then you can see yourself go through a window. Pick a window or a door Go through the freeway, go visit your family or your son, your daughter, whatever. You can do it that way. But once I really don't need to do that. I don't know. I just, ever since I was a kid, I just go there. I think of it and I'm there.
Yeah.
But that's just me though. And it just takes practice for you guys. If you haven't gotten there yet, you guys can do it. You can do it this way. You can also pretend that you're going up an elevator and you're asking your helpers or your higher selves to be with you in the elevator. And then you go up. You can go out to the clouds, down to, we'll say, a beach, down the stairs. Okay, you can go up, down, as above, so below. You can go to your friends as a mermaid or a merman. You can go and be a half horse, half, woman. With the centurions, you can channel yourself into, what I do is also, I look into my eagle self or my lion self. And my eagle self I love because I could just go and fly, or my dragon self, because I have 6, 7, 8, 9 that take care of me. But anyway, we can multiply. We can, whatever kind of being you want to be and you want to put your essence into for that night or that morning or that trip, you can do it.
Awesome.
Kind of like hypnotizing yourself, but the thing of it is with me, you really don't hypnotize me because I can see through the hypnotism.
Absolutely. But so, there's so much more. Man, we could go on for hours, but I think we've gone a good hour because we had a breakup in the middle. Not a break it up, but you people don't realize it. But after I splice all this together, we had a little computer problem with Bob.
I got kicked off. I'm like, where's Bob?
That's all right. It's normal for us. But anyway, we put so much energy into these. I swear they know it, and it just overloads the little microchips. But yeah, there's so much we can go. But I want to hear about what you got going on, so you can tell the audience so they can come find you. And I'll put all your links below in the description. You said you did classes and YouTube and things. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Oh gosh, where do I start? So as far as fitness, I have a fitness, just a little Instagram for Lisa Monroe for fitness. And then I have my videos, my pictures there. And also on YouTube, Codebreaker Real Talk, I have, I'll be jump roping, or I'll be doing all kinds of muscle leg work, and, just to encourage people that you can do that. And also I make books out of nothing, out of paper, out of cardboard, out of whatever. And those are called junk journals, or wrecking your journal. I have, some of them are on my YouTube channel, and some of them are on Lisa Amore on the Instagram. The third Instagram is all about Super Soldier Star Seeds, and my Codebreaker Real Talk, as well as Unchained Hearts and Unchaining Hearts. That was the one that got hacked on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. Let's see, Telegram, same thing. Veronica Bartolini, Codebreaker Real Talk. And Twitter, but Twitter isn't really, what Twitter is. It's still kind of like a tracker. Well, everything traces us. But so just Google me. My email, you got my email, andromedan1800@protonmail.com or unchainedhearts33@gmail.com. Sometimes that gets interfered with, so I just, do the proton mail.
Yeah, it all works. I mean, there's so much computery stuff out there. They're getting hacked and torn down and put back up. But it's hard to keep up. I mean, when I had to learn how to do all this, it was like Greek to me, but I'm doing pretty good. I know how to do a lot of stuff, a lot more than everybody else. And it looks like you were learning quite a bit too. So kudos. You'll get better as it goes on. It's you got more stuff than I do. I try to focus on the YouTube, and I got a Bradion channel. And on the Bradion channel, I can say a lot, kind of like you're on Telegram. You can say whatever you want on some of those. And other ones, you'll get chopped, right away. Well,
remember, Telegram is also used by the White Hats. It's also owned by the Red Pill, the Donald Trump, the followers. So you got to be careful with that too. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a little bit. I'm not on Telegram. I'm on the Bradion and YouTube, and I'm going to put up a website soon. I got the thing all going. It's just more work I haven't done.
I started my website, but then when I asked for help, it got taken down. So I don't think I need a website right now. I'm just going to keep talking on it.
Yeah.
YouTube,
Well,
wherever.
well, it
Telegram.
sounds like you got a lot going. Maybe we'll get you on the Crystal Network.
Okay.
We have there's a website for us Soul Tribe members. It's called the Crystal Network. I'll send you a link.
Thank you.
And it's with all the people who do tarot card readings, and they have shows, and they do all these things, and you'd be a great addition to that. I'll have to suggest it to them and send you the link to that.
I'm honored. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been a great show, and thank you so much for coming. And you stick around a little bit, and everybody else, remember, go out there, hug your family, talk to your parents if you have them yet, be thankful they're around, your children, everybody else, spread the love, and remember, be the frequency you want to be. Peace, everybody.
Spread a little love, because I love you all unconditionally. Be the frequency you want to see. Have a good night.